Are you guys familiar with the seven-figure desert? And the idea behind it is I've never met a seven-figure business owner that was happy. And the reason why is because by the time you get over that $1 million mark, you're probably getting your ass kicked. But before you make it to that $10 million mark, everything is still pretty much going through you. The other magical thing that happens once you get above 10 million is your EBITDA changes, which means if you want to exit and if you want to sell your business, they're going to pay you a multiple of your EBITDA. They're not going to buy 50 small companies and hope that one of them makes it. So they're going to give you a 3x or a 5x based on the health of your business when they go to buy it. And that means you've got to be in 8 figures to get that payday. The idea is pretty simple. That somehow magic number of 8 figures, the company basically runs itself. Right? You've got executives and they've got directors or managers, and it's doing what it needs to be done. And that's kind of the cash cow. That's kind of the entrepreneurial dream to hit that level so that the phone can go off or there can be an emergency and it doesn't require you to put on the cake with the big S on it and save the day. You are not going to get to $3 million a year if you don't have good people. And they have to have some level of process. You can't have the right people running around like chickens with their heads cut off and get to $3 million a year in business. If you run a business at 7 figures, and if you say to yourself, I don't have time for another project, you have to get that next 10x that you're going to get out of technology. If you're a couple $1 million a year, and as a business owner, you're just grinding, all of a sudden out of nowhere, 3-4 years go by, you haven't seen your wife and kids in a while, and you got money in the bank, but it's just not worth it. To get stuck into that hamster wheel, it's so crazy to think that happens to people, but it happens to a lot of people. And they don't realize that, okay, this is how we innovate. There's a natural evolution, right? First you start with solopreneur, right? And then you go from solopreneur to a small team, and then you go from small team to a little bit more scale. And then from scale, you have to figure out how to make that next big jump. And from scale to that next big jump is exactly what we're talking about here. Some businesses make it, some don't. I want to help. You've got a problem. You need to focus on your business. Steve is more than capable of handling these problems for you. If you have this problem and you don't want to do it yourself and you're ready to give it to somebody else, and your goal is to go from 7 to 8 figures to get yourself a big bump of scale, and you know it's got to be technology. If you're not talking to this guy about your problems, we got to figure out why. You've got head trash.